Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Charlie Starr. I'm an astrologer and tarot reader, and you can book a reading with me at charliestarr.com. This week, we're going to be doing a forecast for the week July 16th to July 23rd. So, what have we got going on this week? Well, on Wednesday, we had a full moon in Capricorn, and the full moon was in conjunction with Pluto, the planet of death and transformation. So, the full moon usually has an effect from 3 days before and 3 days after about what is being culminated, what is being fulfilled, and what activity is being brought to the forefront of our attention. This is what full moons do. They bring things up into a culminating point. And a lot of the aspects with this full moon, what I'm seeing is that they're applying at the full moon, and we're actually dealing with the fallout of that full moon in Capricorn for the following week. So, with the full moon being in Capricorn, it's kind of like the culmination or the fulfillment of a project, something that we're doing at work. It depends what house this is for you, where this project is being completed, where this thing is ending. But it is generally something that you have worked hard for, that you've put a lot of time and effort and energy and patience and endurance into fulfilling. So it can feel really, really good to have this sort of ending, wrapping up, and finishing, especially here with Pluto being in conjunction with the full moon. It's trining the North Node in Taurus, which we've been dealing with the North Node in Taurus for a while. It is actually entering a conjunction with Uranus. Uranus is the planet of surprises and newness and progress. So, what's happening here is that there's this culmination, there's this ending of something we've worked really hard for. We can feel really good about that. And yet, there's this ending that's happening that where Pluto is like turning things over and having us take a look at that North Node and that Uranus planet in Taurus and having us reevaluate for ourselves as we're coming out of this project ending, as we're coming out of this fulfillment of something that we've worked hard for. Is this really what I want going forward? Is what I've worked for so hard for so what I've worked so hard for in the past that I'm finishing right now, is this something that really like aligns to my values moving forward? Is what I worked for in the past something that actually I was working for somebody else's value system? This is something that somebody else finds valuable. And maybe now that we've completed it, we're feeling like we are so done with it. This is not for us anymore. And we're ready for progress. We're ready to move on to something new. And this can be like something that maybe is going to be very surprising for other people. It's not very traditional. Capricorn is a traditional sign, whereas Uranus has like no respect for tradition whatsoever. To have Pluto like blowing up this Capricorn, this traditional like accomplishment that we have, and just saying like, yeah, that's not what we're going to be doing anymore. The rest of this week, we're sort of dealing with the fallout of that realization. Okay. So, and this can be a realization that you're having from inside yourself, or it can be something that is maybe you've already known and it's coming into fruition already. However, the moon is actually waning at this point. So it's growing smaller as we're now moving towards a new moon. And what does that mean? It's like the moon is asking us to go further inward. As the moon gets darker, we get closer and closer to our subconscious selves. And the sun and a couple other planets right now are actually in Cancer. And Cancer is the sign that is ruled by the moon. And it asks us to look back, to look at what we've already done. So, a lot of what's happening this week is about looking backwards, not about looking forwards. But it's really about saying goodbye to what we've done, saying goodbye to things from the past. And really, later this week, Venus will go into Cancer and begin to heal the past and give us an opportunity to reconcile the past and make peace with the things that have occurred, good and bad, and the people that we are saying goodbye to. There also may be people that we are saying goodbye to because Mercury is also in Cancer. So on Saturday, the Sun will form a conjunction with Mercury and become exact. I think it's on Saturday, maybe on Friday. Depends where you are in the world. But Friday going into Saturday, Mercury is going to form a tight conjunction with the Sun. What does that mean? Mercury is often around the Sun because it's a small planet and it moves very quickly. So we can think of Mercury as the mind and the Sun as the conscious will. It's our willpower, it's our vitality. And sometimes with the mind sort of like swirling around the will, it's kind of like we're thinking, but we're thinking in circles, right? And the will that we're actually acting out of may be based on some other things. It may be based on like a routine that we've already established, right? Like it's our will and our vitality that gets us up in the morning and takes us to work. But it's not necessarily like a decision that we're making mentally. It's a decision that we've really already made. It's a commitment we've already made. So to have Mercury be, it's called in the chariot, right in exact orb with the Sun, it puts Mercury, it puts our mind in the seat of authority, the seat of power, the driver's seat of our own will and vitality. So it's as if we are taking our mind and finally aligning our mind with our will. And it's forming a positive, a harmonious aspect with Neptune, which is in retrograde in Pisces. So Neptune can be a very confusing planet, but when it's in retrograde, it actually brings us a lot of clarity with our dreams. So a lot of you may experience dreams of clarity about where mentally you have clear mental focus about where to apply your energy. Okay, so this can be a very, very positive thing. When the full moon on, I want to say like Friday, Thursday and Friday, and possibly Saturday, we're still feeling the effects of that full moon, and it can feel like we know where we're going. I really want to encourage you to get even more clear than you think you are, because right now you may be like in an emotion of clarity, but you haven't actually thought it out as clearly as you might be feeling that you have, because it's an emotional decision that's being made and it's emotional ending. So how do I explain this? This is not necessarily about the next step forward. This is about dealing with the past, the things that you are saying goodbye to. And sometimes the path forward is not so clear. But with Mercury being in conjunction with the Sun this weekend, you have an opportunity to get clear mentally about what the future is going to look like and how you can put that into effect. Okay. So then on Sunday night, so for some of you, this will be Monday, Venus goes into Cancer. Venus loves the sign of Cancer. Venus is in exaltation in Cancer. Cancer is an emotional water sign that has to do with our origins, our history, our past, our mother, our home. It's the root, the origin sign. Okay. And to have Venus come in there, Venus is about healing. It's about bringing together reconciliation, love, harmony. This is really what we need towards the end of Cancer season, especially as we're saying goodbye to things, especially as we're finishing up things. Okay. It's like there's things we're saying goodbye to, and then Venus comes in and is like, you know, it's good that you're saying goodbye to these things, but let's have a peaceful goodbye. Let's say goodbye in a good way. Let's end these relationships in a loving manner. Let's end these projects, this pursuit, let's leave this home, let's leave this situation, however it is that you're leaving, let's leave with grace. Grace is the word that I'm hearing. So that's very good. We can expect to feel a sort of healing resolution for this next week and the last little bit of Cancer season up until July 22nd. Um, well, I mean, and going forward, but especially as the sun is in Cancer, the focus is really on this topic. What else do we have going on? On Monday, Mercury opposes Pluto in Capricorn, and on Tuesday, the Sun opposes Pluto in Capricorn. This is why I'm telling you over the weekend to use that moment of clarity to really write down your why for your shift in values, your why for why you're leaving the situation that you're leaving. I encourage you to journal. If you do spell work, it is very helpful to do a releasing spell over the weekend if you didn't do one during the full moon, and use your words to speak that release into existence. Mercury and the Sun are in Cancer, so the opposition can come from our own emotions, our own fear of letting go of what's comfortable, our own fear of letting go of what's familiar. And it can also mean that this opposition is coming from the home, from people close to us, from people in our family. And one thing that is helpful with opposition is to be clear about why you are ending whatever is ending for you. So if you understand sort of what's going on from a mentally grounded place. The second thing is that a lot of the time oppositions challenge us, and the tendency can be to fight, deal with the opposition as if the opposition were an open enemy. But Venus is here in Cancer, and I think there's wisdom there for us to really look at the resistance that's coming from within us, or the resistance that's coming from our family members, and try to reconcile the opposition through balance, through harmony. What is it that this opposing viewpoint actually has to offer that might be helpful? And also, what skills and what values have we gotten from our past, from our upbringing, our family, whatever it is we're saying goodbye to, a job, what have you, that we can take with us? Okay, folks, that's it. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next week, and I hope it all works out for you guys. So keep me posted. Let me know in the comments how this week goes for you.